All right. Good morning. We are live. Carlos, how you doing this morning, my friend?
Good.
Wonderful,
Good,
wonderful.
good.
Friday. Happy Friday.
That's right. April 2nd. Lucky you didn't fall on April Fools.
I know. There was all kind of people getting got on social media on all kind of people. So yeah, I'm glad we didn't have this one on April 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So good week. Week been pretty good for you.
Week has. It's been busy. It's
Productive,
been
busy.
good. It's productive, yeah. Yep. It's been a little of everything going on this week.
That's good. That's a good thing. That makes the week go by quickly. That's the one good
What
thing about doing these is when we get here, we know the week is almost over. But in our business, it's just beginning because weekend is our business. So that's all
yeah.
right. Slows down a little bit for everyone else. So
How's
nothing
it
wrong.
been for you?
It's good. It's good. We it's been really busy, extremely busy. Which is I'm not complaining one bit about that, but it's been really busy. And that's a good thing. So I have no complaints on that one. It's
Yeah.
just been sometimes a lot of times I'll work from home and it's sun up to sundown. I could literally keep on working through the night if I'm in right now. So but hey, no complaints with that. I'll take it while I got it.
That's right. That's right.
Doesn't always happen that way. Hey, somebody called me yesterday out of the blue and was following up. I had talked to them. God, it's probably been over a year since I saw them. And then we've talked a couple of times, interacted a couple of times on email and or social media. And they just called up and, and just said, hey, I just wanted to follow up with you and touch base with you and see how things are going. And, so on and so forth. And, so it was a worthwhile call. They happened to catch me right at the time that I had something that they could have benefited from. So their timing was perfect with the call, and it was well worthwhile follow up on their part because it ended up, getting them some business. So, it's just amazing, when people follow up. I just so happen to be ready to do something and be in the position to be able to do it and need that service. And because she called yesterday, she was able to get a deal out of me. So,
That's good.
it's just what we talk about all the time. It's like, there's value in doing that follow up because you never know. You just never know when that person's going to decide to make a purchase or decide to make a buy. Right.
Right. You got to stay in front of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say on our graphic that we have here, the progression of the sale, I was clearly somewhere in this contact 7+ for her.
That's good.
You know what I mean? I was clearly down here. So when she was like, let's do it.
There's not too many people that do that.
No, not at all. Not at all. And so when she called, I was like, well, let's do it. Hey, your timing is right. I'm ready to do something now. So let's do it. So the value of following up converted the deal for that young lady yesterday. So, I thought I'd share that real life experience,
Yeah.
Brought up on me, which is good. Good thing. Very good thing. So, anyway, what I thought we'd chat about today, we talk a lot about some of the fundamentals, but then there's also some 9 ways to radically improve your follow-up results. And obviously we go through these quite a bit, so I thought we just kind of talk through those, kind of share some thoughts and experiences on these items. Some of these items, maybe not explicitly all over them, but the number one is to use a follow-up schedule. And I know it's number one for a reason because this is something I know we talk about every week. It's about allocating some time, having some time set aside in order to follow up, scheduling that time and being intentional with the time to do that. And so, in here, in this article, and I've dropped this article, the link to this article, as well as these 9 items in the comments. But, in here we talk about, this article talks about a sample follow-up schedule, right? But it also goes down to the amount of time or the actual time, right, Carlos, that you're going to set aside to follow up. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, there's more to it than just that. You got to set that time and schedule, and and like this week, it's been a rough week for me to stay on that schedule. I know I'm going to use today to do that, but it's been a rough week for me to stay at my 10 o'clock, make phone calls, just because I've had so many other irons that I've had to work out and do other things. And my 10 o'clock calls just didn't, slack this week. So I made my calls. So I made my calls while I'm in the car or when I'm on the go or, where I can, I visited some clients this week and when they were busy doing the things that they do at their, I visited them at their business, and when they were busy, I made my phone calls, or I did my stuff, so I always had my computer with me, or I made my phone calls, but it was a rough week for me to stay on that schedule, but you still got to find time to do it, and it's been tough this week, with the workload that I've had. And, but today I'm going to specifically, set out some time and do some of that. So
that's good. That's good. Well, you have a schedule and you have a plan. And if for some reason you got to deviate from that schedule, you just find another time in the day to get it done. But you got it scheduled to do every day, which is, important.
Typically the day is the schedule. Yeah. It's like, 10 o'clock, I make my phone calls, or, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm working on, my goals and finances, and, 8 o'clock, I'm working on trying to figure out what I need to do for the day. And so it's just, you got to have that schedule, and you got to have the follow-up schedule, and you got to have those phone call schedules.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Good. Well, the next one is, using different contact formats. This graphic that I just had up, is a perfect example, illustratively speaking, of different contact approaches, right? Whether it's telephone or email, or, now we've got text messaging, and we've got some social media and whatever the case may be, but using some different contact formats. What's the value in that? Why is that important from your perspective, Carlos?
Because you don't know what everybody does until you figure it out. If you get leads, or if you're trying to meet a client, or you're trying to meet a person, and you don't know what they do or what's best for them. I mean, you might ask. People do ask, but they don't always tell you the truth either.
Right.
They might say email. I do. I say email. Why? Because that way I'm not bombarded with the phone and the text, and, I say email and I can look at it when I can.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that that's my main source, but they might say that, so until you can figure out what their main source of communication is, you need to try different things.
That's right. This talks about, the goal is to touch them in different ways, to stay top of mind, stand out from everyone else. But also, like you just said, it's also to find out what their preferred method of communication is too. I agree completely. We've got emails, we've got text messages, we've got tweets and Facebook, social media stuff. You're right. There's a reason that we want to vary our contact formats. My wife, for example, you send her an email, you might not ever get a response.
Right.
You might not. If it ain't from like a very important source like work or school, she doesn't really pay much attention to those guys. You send her a text, you'll get a response right away.
Yeah. And some people, like I said, they're not honest. They might not want to tell you that, hey, I don't want to be bothered by you. And that's the whole point.
Right.
That's the whole point. You don't want to bother people, but yet you need to communicate with them. You need to get to them.
Absolutely.
And you got to find the best way. They might, like I said, they might say email, but really it's not.
Right.
The email might be, just a way to let me look at it when I can and when I want, and I'll get back to you whenever I want. But if you're not getting any communication, like that I told you that story a couple of weeks ago, that we tried to communicate with this client of ours, and they stopped. They didn't email back. Right. They didn't text. So we started going there,
right.
And so it happened again, and it was really weird because we just got done seeing them, and they want to do a deal, and it was like um, we tried to communicate with them right after we left them, and then it was zero communication via email. And she, for one, she said she was going to send us everything via email. So, and it just stopped. It didn't happen. Nothing happened. We couldn't figure it out. And I'm like, man, I'm starting to think that it might be me. But because I was with two different people, this time was with another agent. I was with them, and then it happened to me. And then I was with another agent, and it happened to me as well. So I'm like, I'm starting to think that this is me that it's happening to. But no, we got a different, I text, and now I got all kinds of information coming.
Nice.
But she said email, and I tried different ways. I even went there and text, and now I'm getting bombarded with emails, So it was emails. It was just, it's just the very first communication. You just got to figure out what the right one is.
Yeah, absolutely. Different contact formats. People have a tendency to want to use one that works out best for them, and once you find it out, it's great. But varying them is very important. So I agree completely with that. Okay, cool. Number 3 on the list is time your follow-up for maximum impact. It's funny because when I first got into business, particularly of calling, whether it's call center and stuff like that, I would always come in and do my calls at a certain time. And then I started varying when I called, right? So I would mix it up. Some days I would do in the evenings, some days I would do in the mornings. And, I got such a boost to my contact ratio by varying that, you know what I mean? So because the people that I was trying in the morning, I was just, I'm just not going to catch those people in the morning. So if I don't change up in certain days, call different times, I probably am not maximizing my impact in terms of being able to connect with that particular prospect. And our guy said that too. Our guy, Ramsey Finn, remember that? Ramsey talked about, lunchtime and evening time and morning time. Remember, he talked about that as well.
Yeah. And the biggest thing is I learned that early on when I was young. I never stopped. I tried early in the morning, and I always had it in my mind. It's like, man, it's too early to call. Maybe somebody's trying to sleep, but you got to figure out when a good time to get them. If it's morning or afternoon, lunchtime, evening, you just got to figure out the time that is right to catch these people.
Right. Yeah. Mix it up a little bit. And, by varying that contact time, certainly I think it's going to help increase our ability to, to get contact if we vary it a little bit. So the next one on our list is leveraging email templates. My email, I used to use an email that had it was a really good email that one of the loan officers put together or found or whatever. And, we'd make, general emails and try to prospect and follow up. And then after a certain point, it was like, it's like, I'm really worried about you, and it was like, the body, that was a subject line. The body was like, either this happened, or you've been taken away by aliens, either way. Either way, let me know, so that I can update my list or whatever. And that email would get a response so much, and it was always kind of a sarcastic response of, "Oh God, I'm still here," or, "You know what, I went to Mars, I'm back now," stuff like that. So it was such a good email, and I don't know why I don't use that more often. I need to probably go back to using that because it got responses, even if it was just to update the list and take them off my my follow-up every day or whatever, every week or whatever. But email templates are very good. Rosie said she loved the alien one.
Hey, this is part of this whole having fun. This is part of breaking the ice. It is great to be professional, but I get a lot of emails from very, very, very successful people, that are kind of like this. Hey, I haven't forgot about you, or hey, don't forget about me, or what's your deal? Just I get all kinds of just straightforward, just realistic emails. They might be templates, but they're fun, or they're silly, or you laugh at them, but it attracts that attention to the people.
Yeah.
It gets their attention. And that's where you got to have fun with these people, and you got to make sure that you make it enjoyable for them to work with you.
Yeah. Here it goes right here, Carlos. Dear Word, I have been trying to reach you about your request to finance a new home, and I'm a little worried. I got you pre-approved for a home loan already, but you haven't returned my calls. That can mean one of three things. Either you have decided to work with another lender, other priorities have gotten in the way, or you've been abducted by aliens. That last one really concerns me. So that is an email that gets significant response. I mean, it's amazing.
That's all it takes is to have fun and be silly, or do something fun, something that even if they respond that is so funny, at least you got something.
Right, exactly. Exactly. It is hilarious. That is one of them. Like I said, it was a loan officer that we worked with years ago, and she was sending that out, and she was just getting great responses on it. And so anyone who wants that email, let me know. I'll be happy to send it over. But I dropped some content in the comments as well on that email. So leveraging email templates. Of course, we have a CRM, and our CRM is sending out emails for us. That's going to help us leverage email templates. But having some templates,
make some.
Create some. I have Outlook that I use Outlook, and in my Outlook, I'll show you here. In my Outlook, I have created some signatures. Right, in Outlook, you can create signatures, and in my signatures, if I go to signature, I've already got some already programmed in, right? You just go and create a signature, put in there what you want, like a birthday, happy birthday, it's a real quick and easy email, so I created, so I can actually follow up, just through the click of a button of tapping on these signatures. And I have templates already set up in there for me to follow up with, right? So I need to put worried in there, I need to go to do the worried. So you go to signatures on your Outlook, you create new, and you type in the name of what that is, right? And then you just put in the verbiage, right? Dear Word, I've been trying to reach you, blah, 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 blah. Hit save, and then hit OK. And then that's it. So now I've got a worried, and there goes my worried one. And what I didn't put in there. See how quick that was, quick and easy?
My goodness.
Yeah, what I didn't put in there was I didn't put in there my deal there. So I gotta put my deal in there, my guy, my alien, right? But you can get your alien, whatever your alien you want. You can go find you an alien image. But on mine, I should have put my guy in there.
Right and there. You get good response from that too, don't you?
Great responses. Great responses.
And if something, once you find something that you get response from, or that works, or no matter what it is, but when you get something, then you start using it. Then you use it until it doesn't, until it stops working, and change up.
That's right.
Do new things.
Yep. So there it goes right there. I just created a signature in Outlook, and boom, there goes my Word email. So I'll start firing this out as my Followup Friday email for people who haven't responded to some of my other programs. But there's an email template. You can vary them up and get you some good response, being creative and things of that nature. Tracking actual contact attempts. Carlos, I know you are a master at that. Tell me a little bit about that. I know you do.
It takes a lot. And that's my big thing is I know we talked to the other real estate agent a couple weeks ago, and she's like, I just keep trying. But it's like, I personally, there's some people out there that don't, and it works for them. Mm-hmm. But I personally have to track what I'm doing, or mm-hmm. what we're doing as a company, or how it works, because that's what I learned when I was younger, is that if you're working harder and not smarter, and it helps. Might not be perfect at it, but it helps. So I generated a little, I can't, oh yeah, I can. Let me see here. I got a lot of stuff that I need to close. So I'm going to share this real quick. And
okay.
I use.
You want to share your screen?
Yeah, I'm going to share. So I can figure it out.
Yeah, it should show you the screen or the tab or the application. There you go. Gotcha.
Yeah. So like this is a simple spreadsheet, you know, and then this is how I tracked all my stuff that I do, like prospecting hours, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Now, granted, I have Saturday, Sunday. Saturday and Sunday for me is gravy.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, phone calls, how many phone calls I make. You know, I have my goals right here. I set, this is set every single time. So if I make one phone call, ooh, it makes me look like a liar. Okay, if I make one phone call, I have total of 1, so I need 59 remaining.
Gotcha.
You know, if I make 60 phone calls, I have none remaining. Anything else is gravy. If I make 20 here, I have 40 left. So, and then like I have face-to-face, sit-downs, presentations, leads, pre-qualifications. This is when I used it for real estate or mortgages, and how many deals I got. So I should get 5 deals. So this is the goals that I need to do every single time. Should be successful to get about 20 deals a month.
Wow. That's like the greatness tracker from Rick Ruby.
Yeah. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. Face-to-face, sit-down, prospecting, phone calls. Yeah, this is like the greatness tracker.
Yep. Sit-downs, coffees. Because the thing is like if you're not networking, like you have to network so many hours a week. You know, you have to meet new people. And if you're not held accountable, you're not going to do it. And you're not going to be successful. You're going to sit here and say, well, why can't I get these deals? Or why is this not working for me? Or, you know, this business isn't working.
Yeah.
You're just not doing it. You know, where if you hold yourself accountable for prospecting, if you hold yourself accountable for phone calls, if you hold yourself accountable to meet people, and it has to be face-to-face. It's not just sitting there saying, what are you going to do tomorrow? It's got to be some kind of motivational, you know, if they're talking about your business or are you talking about their business, you know, helping them out some way or another. You know, sit down, coffees and meals, those are going to be, you know, you're going to be sitting there doing deals or having a little bit more elaborate conversation. You know, you got to have so many of those a week. You know, you got to present your business so many times per week.
Absolutely. And look what this comment says in this article. The comment says the takeaway, and it's hard to read that. I think it's down here. Let me get to it though. Sorry. It says the takeaway, there's no substitute for real data about sales activities. Automatically tracking calls and emails is incredibly easy. And there's simply no excuse not to track those activities. And here it is right here. This is right here. The takeaway. No substitute for real data about your activities. No excuse to track those activities. So Carlos has a spreadsheet. You know, if you don't have a mechanism for tracking your activities, Carlos has a spreadsheet right here that Carlos can send you. You can drop a comment. You can DM him. Carlos, what is the call to text? Is it 913?
703-7000? And there's no reason. I mean, this is this right here alone will help you get what you need to do. And see, all these goals, you know I need to make 60 phone calls per week. See, this is every week. 60 here, 60 here, 60 here, 60 here. I know, and that's the thing. I mean, this spreadsheet helps me keep track of what I need to do, but I know how many deals I want every month. I know how many leads I want every month. I got to have 6250 every week of leads. In order for me to meet with these people and them tell me no, or in my conversion rate, it will add up to how many deals that I want. So I work that in a different way, and then I put when I figure out, okay, I need to make this many phone calls, I got to meet this many people, I got to network and meet this many people, and I got to do this, and this whole system right here adds up to how many deals I want every month.
Right. You backed into the number.
I backed into the number.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a science to it. Kristen Herman, right? Kristen Herman, science to it. Remember, she did 10 prospects would lead to 3 deals, right? I mean, 10 qualified prospects, 3 deals. Now we have to have the activity, and your spreadsheet is great because it shows what the activities that you must do in order to be able to accomplish your goals. And then you're also tracking it so that you can see if you're off from week to week or whatever the case may be. You can go back and look at your activity and say, man, I didn't do enough calling. I didn't do enough prospecting. I didn't follow up. I didn't do enough face-to-face, whatever, because all of these work together in conjunction for you to hit your goals.
Well, at the end of the month, if you're not doing where you need to be, then you need to review this, period.
Absolutely.
And if you're not doing it, if you're saying, well, I did more than that, then fill the thing out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because then your clients, all the names, and see, I have to do another tab. I have to do another tab because this just isn't enough.
Yep. That's good. That's good. So we make that contact, and then, always get agreement on the next steps. This takeaway is by asking for permission to follow up, lower your odds of being an annoyance and have a solid footing in the future. And it's professional. And that's the one thing I will tell you that Kristen did extremely well with Northwestern Mutual. Extremely well, is, hey, is it okay? I know you're not interested in doing anything right now. That's fine. Is it okay if I follow with you, in another 3 or 4 months or whatever the case may be, when you might be or whatever? Is that okay? And I would always say, well, yeah, absolutely, sure. Because I never knew when I would need that particular service or want it. So I said, sure, and you know what? If she didn't follow up, she wouldn't have got my business. I would have gone to someplace else. But the fact that she asked, I was like, well, sure. And I think most people will probably say the same thing. But it also talks about, Carlos, about, making sure that we establish a good rapport and clear expectations. And that's what we talk about every week as well. It's about building a relationship, not just a transaction. This is a relationship we're building.
Right. And that's the whole thing that's the whole thing is when I meet face to face, or when I'm meeting people as many times as I do, that's why I don't do it just one time. I meet with them as many times as I possibly can, because you don't become friends just in one meeting. You know what I mean? And that's my goal, is to become friends, because if they like me, trust me, and believe in me, they'll buy from me, So in order for them to like me and trust me, they need to know who I am. And you can't know who somebody is in one visit.
That's right.
So it's got to be a continuous. You got to do it. You have to do a big volume, but you got to do it fast.
Yeah.
And you got to do it right.
Yep. Absolutely. Good stuff. That's good stuff. So number 7, using content to expand the range of potential touch points. Different type of content. So we talk about testimonials and, things of that nature. This article is talking about a number of different things, and that provides us with a couple examples, that are available. So take a look at this, but obviously the key is standing out by creating some significant value for prospects, right? Before you're asking for the sale, providing some content, in my emails now, I don't know if you saw that, Carlos, but in my email, let me show you. In my email, I have a link to one of my YouTube videos, 2 of my YouTube videos now. Can you see that on my screen?
Yeah.
Yep. So I have a link to profit and loss loans, right? So if I send an email out to someone and it's got some content on there where it'll take them right to the YouTube channel, where I talk a little bit about profit and loss loans, because those are something that are, very big deals out there in the self-employed world. So, providing some good content, providing some good information, to expand the range of potential touch points, is always a good thing to do when we're looking to follow up. That'll help, right? We're providing some value, adding value to the situation.
I got to do a lot more of this because I focus on I've been focusing on what's important to better my business, which is relationships and meeting people and interacting and developing business. Well, the content with YouTube, like you're doing, that's what I said, you're killing me with all this content that you're putting out, and those links and the reviews, and all those are very important. Like that link that you put on there, going to that stuff, that's awesome, and I still have a ton of work to do to get that going myself, and it is very important to get that content out there. It's very important to get the right content out there, for me, it's like, I don't want to be salesy, and it's just a personal thing for me,
right?
It's not for everybody, but I don't want to be salesy, and I don't want to be pushing my business. I want people to know who I am,
right,
and what I do,
right.
But you also got to put out there what is good for other people, like you.
Yep.
Helping buyers get the right credit or get the right score, or to make sure they're doing good to their credit, not bad. I still love the because, for one, it keeps me thinking all the time, the percentage of credit that you have to keep your score up.
Yeah. Absolutely. No,
that
you're right.
Content is great,
Yeah.
But I think about that all the time. I sit there, because I wasn't there for a while. For a while I didn't keep my stuff at 10, 20% or 30%, and that's good content. And that's great that you do that. And that is important, and what I do, I could do a lot more, with the printing, some people don't think it's important anymore, but how important it was for business cards, or how important it is to market your business, or to get out there, to be noticed,
right?
But it's just it's a big thing that I need to work on, to get more reviews, to get more content, more education. It's got to be an important thing.
It's free. I mean, a lot of that stuff is free, depending on what you're doing. A lot of it's free, right? And
that's right.
Business cards, and from the business cards, the videos, whatever, it's all free, So it's a good idea. Stand out by creating some significant value. Number 8, tracking email opens and click-throughs. A lot of times this is done, very helpfully by, if you got a CRM software package that you're using, and I think I mentioned, a number of times that HubSpot is free. HubSpot is free, and HubSpot absolutely does track, your email opens and click-throughs, right? So, I'll get a notification, that somebody has received my email, opened the email, so on and so forth. And HubSpot is free, and I think I've mentioned that a number of times, that HubSpot is free, right? Did I say it was free, Carlos?
It is. Yes,
Right.
It's free.
All right.
It's free. And what's funny? What's funny is that you say this. So I have a CRM system that tells me, like, who I need to follow up with and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It like emails me my daily schedule, like what I need to do, who I need to follow up, what I did yesterday, what contacts. And it was so funny because it's been such a bad week and bad month, just a bit. I'm not saying bad. It's just been busy, and I've been doing things that I shouldn't be. I've been doing a lot of work and not, following up with my emails and my phone calls. Well, the thing tells me, and it tells me at the end of the month, this is what you did. And it says you added 962 contacts.
Wow, nice.
You sent out 0 email blasts. You sent out 0 emails. You sent out this, and I'm like, I walked away from my computer. I was like, man, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
yeah, so it is great. I mean, I read it and I saw it, but it slapped me in my face too. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It told me you're not doing enough.
Look at this thing here, Carlos. Free to start.
Free
marketing tools, email marketing free, tracking and conversion free. So if you don't have a contact management system, a CMS, CRM, whatever, a way to track email click-throughs and opens and get notifications on that, there's really no reason other than you just don't want to do it because it's free. HubSpot is free. So there's no reason why you shouldn't have that capability to track your email opens and click-throughs. And what I'm going to do, again, because it's important, is I'm going to put the link to HubSpot in the description in the comments so that anyone who is interested can go to HubSpot and get the free email tracking and marketing tools because it's free. And that's what we want to do, provide some free solutions. Doesn't take a lot of money to follow up. Send an email, get a tracking. It's free, right?
Free. It is.
Cool. All right, use call down lists. So, we talk about, like, you've got, like a list of people, and Carlos, you're old school with it. Talk about your call down list, because you are old school with it, brother.
Yeah, there's nothing to it. It's I write down and load that list, the spreadsheet, names, phone numbers, and I go down the list every day.
Pull out the pad of paper, right? You have to, right?
I do it on a spreadsheet now, but yeah, there's some days that I will really, really want to get that notebook out and use it again because it's easier. But yeah, I just go down my list and I figure out, okay, what do I need to do with this person? What do I need to do with this person? What do I need to do with this person? If I have to call them, or if I have to do something specifically for that person, and then call them and get it going. But I do it the old school way and just go right down my list and figure out what I need to do to knock out, or to, get them something, or to follow up with them, or to find them a place, or, whatever I'm doing for that specific thing.
And, here's so there's days when I'll sit down and I'll do that, right? I'll do a paper stuff. But then I also have, since I put everything in my HubSpot, I also have a task list, and it tells me what's due today, what's overdue, what's upcoming. It tells me who I need to call. So my call down list is generated for me automatically, but there's plenty of days where I'm still paper. I mean, I have a pad of paper, and oh yeah, look at there. Let's get you a bigger screen on that one, Carlos. Let me see that. Wow, look at that joker. Old school. Dialing.
It's even so old that it's kind of ripped out. It's old school. I would dial and write the names down and the notes. I would have the source, how they came in, the customer name, phone number, work phone number, what they're looking for, when I followed up with them, what they have, and then any notes. And I would just go down the list, and nice. I got a whole book full of it.
That's sweet. That's what it's all about, man. It's about, whatever system works for you, and it doesn't have to be very complicated or high tech, it's just a simple, very simple. Simple gets done well if we just do it.
I did a ton of business off that, I do just that. That's what kept me, there was people when I was doing that, there's people that weren't doing anything. They would just call the certain person. If they bought, then that was it. I was telling, my wife and Stephanie here the other day, I said there were some people that came in, and it's just like, they're just one and done. They don't keep track of their people. They don't follow up with them. They don't follow up with them after the sale.
Mm-hmm.
If they get the sale, they're done and they move on, and people do that. And it's just not, not the way to build a business.
Right.
And we go back to the Bianca Estella, you know, she built a business. She built a long-term business. No matter if they did mortgages with her years and years ago, or if they bought houses from her, you know, she built a business that those repeat clients, they follow up with her, or they give her referrals, and she's got it coming in every single day. We were sitting around last week, or it was earlier this week. We were sitting at the table and we were talking about these leads and generating leads, and we were talking about Bianca too. And she's like, she's got so many people coming in that it's hard for her to keep up, you know. And that's the way you should build a business.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
Absolutely. That's the key, man, is listen, if we put out the activity, you know, the activities that we talk about every week, if we are providing that level of activity, it is going to put us in a position where we're not going to be able to handle all the business coming in. And that's just because of the consistency and the discipline and the small principles that, you know, that are being done, that are time tested. They're time tested, you know. So we are in a position where we just, like I told you, I can keep working all the way through the night. I have to get up and go to the gym and get out of the house because I could keep on working right on through the night.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I mean, and it's been like that. It's literally been like that since COVID started, which is amazing, you know, a couple of days here in the COVID, but after that, it's been like that. But that's because the activities haven't stopped.
Right. Yeah. And that's just like me. It's like, I've learned since I've gotten older that I would just work, you know. But like Bella, my daughter, she texted me last night. She said, "Will you take me to Target? I got to take an outfit back." And I was sitting there about ready to text her and say, "Look, I got to finish this work," but I didn't. So I tried to do as much as I could. I worked for another about 15, 20 minutes. And then I sent a message back to her and I said, "I will be there to pick you up." So I took some time off, went and picked her up, took her to Target, took her back home. Then I went back to work, you know, but you got to do what you got to do to get stuff done, you know?
Yeah.
And then, you know, and then after that, I worked till midnight and, you know, 12:30 and got some stuff done and moved on. But yet I took that time to, you know, go pick her up and take her where she wanted to go and take her back. So, you know, you got to take some time to do that.
Yeah, you do. You absolutely have to. It's good mentally. It's good. I mean, you know what? You do too much. We can't function without taking that break. But yeah, that stuff happens with activity. So 9 ways to radically improve our follow-up results. Use a follow-up schedule. Use different contact formats: emails, cell phone, social media. Time your follow-up for maximum impact. Mix the days up. Mix the times up. You're reaching out to people. Leverage email templates. I think I mentioned that there is a free tool. It's called HubSpot.
You did.
I think I mentioned that HubSpot is free. So if you want to find a way if you don't have any email templates, let me tell you something. In HubSpot, the free HubSpot, where the email is free, they actually have templates in there as well. So there you go. There you have it. So there's no excuse not to leverage email or email templates. Track actual contact attempts. You can do like Carlos does. You can use the notepad. You can use old school. Track your actual contact attempts. Get agreement on the next steps. Ask to follow up if they're not ready to do something right now. Ask to check back in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, whatever.
Yeah, there's no possible way that you can do stuff like that if you don't have, you know, CRM. I you know, back when I'd had just even when I use this notebook, you know, the only reason why I was able to do what I did was because I went back to the first person and I went down my list. I would flip over my page, go through that list, flip over my page, go through that list. I would go back to every single day. Every single day I would go back to the very first page, the very first person. If I don't have a highlight through them or a line crossed out, I'm doing something for them. So, but the thing is it's different these days. There's so much competition. There's so many people. There's so many things going on that you got to be efficient. And that free CRM system will work.
Yeah, it'll work. Absolutely. It'll get it done for us. Use content to expand the range of potential touch points, track email opens and click-throughs, which you can do through free HubSpot, which has a email marketing free tool in there to track your email opens and click-throughs. And use call down lists, which you can get old school with it and go Carlos style, or you can get new school with it and use HubSpot, which provides a track of all your leads to go old school, and HubSpot is also free. So I think I covered HubSpot sufficiently. I should be like a spokesperson for HubSpot.
That's right. That's right. We need to get you a HubSpot shirt, and they need to pay you a little royalty, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, but cool. All right, my man, I appreciate you taking some time. We're at our time. It's time to now do some following up, get our week started for next week. It's the best time to do it.
Keep the hustle going over the weekend.
That's right, my man. Take care. Have a good weekend, Carlos.
You too.
Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye.
See ya.